vise today. In the vise right now we've got a Hannock 950 in a size 10. I really like these hooks because of the straight shank and the straight eye hook. And we got a 4mm tungsten pink bead, and we're gonna tie. Or recently, Snake River Fly came out with a new video called the Turbo Leech, which is super simple leech using one of their materials, the zero gravity dubbing. And this is just a different color of what was on there. Lately I've been really big into this, into a thin mint type of style fly. So those have been some of the streamers and stuff I've been tying have been based off of that fly that Umpqua had made years ago. So what we're going to start with is some 10-aught Vivas brown thread, and we're just going to tie that in right behind the bead, or somewhere down here onto the shank of the hook. Cut off our excess and then work our thread all the way to the back, to about right here where the point of the hook should be. So we're going to use on this fly zero gravity dubbing in black, and then the front's going to be brown, but the middle, since they haven't made this in chartreuse yet, I've been using some hydro hackle in chartreuse and white. This is a little bit different than one of the new colors they've come out with lately, where there's green and then the white is just a little bit longer than the green that's in here. I mean, it's pretty slick stuff, and I really like the way this looks when it's done. So this is a pretty simple fly that Larry had come up with, and so all we need to do is grab a little chunk of the marabou, and we're going to sit here and we're just going to make sure all the fibers are aligned and that we're able to stack these on top of each other like this. So all we have to do, and then we'll find the middle point, we'll place it on the hook and kind of wrap it around the entire shank of the hook, and then we'll just tie it off in the middle. We'll kind of work our way up just a little bit. A little bit like this, and then we are going to bring our thread and we're going to hold it away from everything, and then we're going to pull back on the black. Pull back on it all and tie it back over itself to make the end part of the fly. There we go. So there's our tail, or the back part of our streamer pattern for the thin mint, or a version of the thin mint. So then we want to wrap up a good chunk of the way, almost probably to the midway point of the shank of the hook, somewhere in here, because this stuff is it's pretty long. We want to get all the different segmentation, the different colors that are in there. So we're going to pull off a pretty short chunk. Let's see, I thought I had a piece sitting out here already. So we're going to pull off, we don't have to pull off a huge chunk, so we're not going to wrap it the whole length of the shank of the hook. So we're going to come in here and we're going to tie it down on here. You guys can hear in the background it's the heater kicking on in my house. I've had to relocate the tying bench to a different room, and I'm in with the furnace. And then bring our thread up, up a little bit farther. So we'll take our hydro hackle and we'll just start wrapping and preening these back, wrapping forward, preening these back, and wrapping forward. So I'm going to do, 2 or 3 wraps, and then we're going to tie off our hydro hackle right here. Snip this off, grab these last few fibers and kind of tie back along it just like we did with the marabou, and bring it back this way so it kind of sits all back. And then what we want to do is bring our thread all the way up to the very front, right behind the bead. And then we're going to grab our brown 0G dubbing and grab the same do the same thing if it did in the very back of the fly with the black, but we're going to do with the brown. And make sure it's all aligned in the same direction. Pull out any of our loose fibers that aren't going to fit. Lay it right at the midpoint of our fly, or the midpoint of the fibers, and put them in half. And then kind of work your way up towards the bead. Grading wraps right next to each other, and then like we did in the back, we'll pull it forward and tie it off. And then we'll just create a little bit of a head right here behind the bead. And then we're just going to tie this off. A whip finisher here. We're just going to give it a quick hit of some super glue just to keep that thread from coming off and any of the fish's teeth. And that's it. It's that simple. And then one of the last thing I like to do is I like to take my Stomfo brush and come in here and brush some of this, and it makes that hydro hackle come apart a little bit. And makes it a little bit more flowy, and it creates a little bit more where the fibers don't seem so close together. So there we go. There we have it. The Thin Mint Turbo Leech. All these materials come from Snake River Fly for the body of the fly. Again, another one of those that have been working really well, and you can really change this color to whatever you want. Blacks, blues, or blacks, browns, olive colors. There's white and gray, and all sorts of things that you can do to make them match whatever leeches you have around. But I really like this Thin Mint color. As it gets wet, it really looks pretty slick in the water. So, thanks for watching.